Well, hello and welcome. Welcome to Around the Town with Mark. I am Mark Whalen, your host, and you know that we are always glad that you tune in and visit with us. Well, look what I have with me today. Something I'm sure is very familiar to all of you, the resident newspaper. Good news that rocks. You've probably seen this maybe when you're waiting to get a haircut, having a bite to eat in a sandwich shop. Maybe you've picked this up somewhere and taken it home free to read. Well, it's a great local newspaper, and I'm lucky today to have the founder of this newspaper, the big guns here, that's going to tell us all about this wonderful paper. So allow me to introduce to you Alexis and from The Resident.
Hi there, Mark.
Hi there.
Glad to be here.
Well, I'm glad to have you here.
And
welcome to Around the Town with Mark.
Thank you. It's always good to come and talk about The Resident. Good news that rocks.
Good news that rocks, and I love that.
Since 1990.
1990,
yes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Well, before we delve into all things Resident, which we want to do, please introduce yourself to my viewers and tell us a little bit about your background.
Okay, varied background. So I grew up in Stonington, went to Stonington High School, and went to undergraduate school at Central Connecticut, got out, taught a year, moved to Montana, did graduate work in Montana in communication, and taught at the college level there. Also, while I was a graduate student, I was chosen to teach at the state prison in Deer Lodge, Montana.
Wow.
That was an experience.
And
that's why I ended up coming home. So I returned home in the early 80s. But before I get to that, I forgot about, I was the first woman to get a direct commission in the Montana National Guard.
Congratulations.
Thank
you. That's where I see up here the U.S. veteran-owned business.
That's exactly right.
Well,
so I did this in the National Guard.
All right.
I interviewed anyone from a private on up to the four-star general who came in from, General Weber, who came in from Washington, from the Pentagon, and the governor, of course, because he's the commander-in-chief of the Guard.
Okay.
And so that's really where I got my journalism background, because my first drill, I remember, in the 103rd Public Affairs Department, they made me the radio and TV officer. And,
all right.
you know, I waited for about an hour, and I said, what am I going to tell him? I'm getting my graduate degree in interpersonal/organizational communication, not mass. We used to call it mass communication,
okay.
or journalism. And so they said, don't worry about it. We'll train you. Uncle Sam will train you and pay you to get trained. And I said,
right.
okay.
Well, that sounds like a good
So
deal.
they sent me to school, and voila. So really, I came back and I decided, well, I've got to pay them back. And so I started a TV show, half an hour show.
Oh,
it was
all right.
called On Your Guard. And then when I moved back home, when one of the inmates was getting out of jail, I decided he was writing to me illegally.
Uh-oh.
So while the coast was clear, I left.
Uh-oh.
Came back, returned home.
Sounds like something out of a TV show.
Yeah, it is. I can write a book.
Yeah.
So anyway, I came back and I did radio for WFAN. It was called at that time. I think it's 102.3.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
And so I did that for 7 months, and then I opened my own advertising agency, Alexis Advertising Incorporated, which is the owner of The Resident.
Oh, all right.
And so I worked with retail accounts, doing their radio, doing their print ads, taking their budget and finding them, you know, the best ways to promote their businesses. And back then, it was tough getting PR, public relations, free space, if you would call it, in the daily papers. Because, of course, at that time, daily papers were king.
Oh, right. Yeah,
Right.
very expensive.
Right.
Very
So
expensive to
I
advertise.
remember I was doing all the promoting for Best Eaten Donuts, and they were opening up a...
Oh, I miss Best Eaten Donuts.
I
They were so
know,
good.
huh?
Yeah.
So they were opening up a location in New London, and I contacted the daily paper and asked for, I said, listen, the mayor's going to be there. We're having a ribbon cutting. Could you come and cover it? The answer was, no, that's advertising. So, that went on for a while. And then the economic times in this region changed. And but this was probably in 1989, it started turning around, going down.
Yeah, that was,
and
there
started
was tough times.
tough times in the
back
region.
then.
And so I decided I was losing accounts from the agency because they couldn't afford to pay me to do their creative and buy their ads and also pay for the ads.
Right.
So little by little, I said, well, I got to do something because I'm not going out of business. So I started The Resident.
Really? Wow.
So that's how the good news came about. But really,
Good News That Rocks.
Good News That
about.
Rocks. So the
Yeah.
foundation was really from my TV shows
Okay.
in the National Guard, because it was all like, what do you like best about your job? What do you like about the Guard? Why did you join? All good stuff, And when I was in grad school, there was a study that I recalled, and it was, if I can explain this. So there were two sets of samples. And sample A saw a sad movie, sample B saw a comedy. Which one did better on the test, same test?
Okay.
The one that saw the comedy.
The one that made people happy.
That's exactly right. So that's why the good news.
I like that.
And so that's been the format since 1990. In October, we went to press in October of 1990. We'll start our 28th year, and at the end of October.
That's
Thank
great.
you.
Wonderful.
We only missed one publication, and that was from Hurricane Sandy. We had no power.
Well,
And no one had power. for a
nobody was
week.
reading
Yeah.
anyway. around
So
that time.
I decided to scratch that
Sure.
issue. So the paper has kind of metamorphosized over the years. Well, it was always community, but it's metamorphosized this year. It's all color. We went to an all color format.
Okay.
That happened in February. And our mission is supporting community members who are doing good things in the community. So hence the good news.
Well, this is just packed with lots of fun stuff.
Right. Thank you.
I mean, it is.
We try to.
And we're going to talk about some of those things that are in here, but every page, it's very, very entertaining. And I really do. I really look forward to when I'm getting my hair cut. I have to wait 20 minutes. It goes by fast by reading this. And
Right.
I do know because one of these issues here, I had an art show back in July, and I know that you're very generous in
Right.
promoting art shows like the one I had, and having that support by putting those in here for people, and that's a great community service, I think, that you're doing.
Right. We have an art show coming up on Labor Day week, or the 2nd of September. It's going to be in our upcoming issue going to press Friday.
All right.
So more arts. Yes, we support the arts because
it makes a big difference.
Yes.
I had a lot of people that came to my Art and Groton Bank in July. And
Good to hear.
And they found it by
Right.
the article in there and the picture that you did. So yeah, it works.
It does work. Knock on, it's glass, but knock on
Up here,
wood.
I'll knock
right.
on wood right up here for you.
Yes, it does work. People get response. We have one advertiser I have to mention, Cardinal Honda, has been advertising in The Resident for 27 years. Now, that's without missing an issue.
That's pretty great.
That's like record.
That's
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're very happy with it. His daughter has taken over as vice president, Kim, and she's happy with it. Their people are happy with it. This format here is a wonderful format, The Resident in Business, because today people like to know who they're doing business with.
Certainly.
So they want to know about that person, Bruce Morrow. They want to know about Bruce Morrow of Valenti Subaru.
Yeah, so I mean, it makes a big business like that. It takes it from just a group of strangers,
right? Sterile,
selling you a car that you distrust, perhaps because
right.
you know what people think about car salesmen,
right?
And you're introducing these people on a personal level, which is a terrific thing to do.
Right, good point. So what we say is that the advertising becomes an integral part of the branding of the paper, and for them, an integral part of the paper. So if they're here, they're community-minded because you're reading community information, stories.
It takes it, I think, beyond just an advertisement for Cardinal Honda, for instance.
Right.
I probably shouldn't mention the name too many times, but
he'd like it.
Yeah, I don't know if the studio won't like it, but he'd like it.
Yeah.
But no, it's the whole point is it takes it away from just being another ad in another paper.
That's right.
It's a personal contact. That's not quite the right word I want, but you know what I'm getting at. It makes
it
that. It
puts some personality to the business.
There you go.
That's what it does.
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah, that's
right.
exactly what it does.
So we put their smiling face in.
Yeah.
Even adopt a pet. Is this dog cute or what?
Oh.
Could you adopt that dog?
Yeah, pick up the latest issue, everybody, and you'll love it. You'll want to adopt this little dog in here.
Really?
It's pretty precious.
We've been putting the adopt a dog in since the very beginning, since the first issue. And we are known to clean out the kennels.
Oh, what another wonderful service.
Yeah, sometimes they don't like us, though.
Oh.
You know why? To say.
Okay.
So, but we're working now with a group that I think they're veteran-oriented and they're fostering out dogs, and it's a great thing. We've been working with them for about 3 years. It's fabulous.
Do you have a team that comes? I mean, the resident has so many unique little interesting articles and things. Everything from questions you can write in about antiques. You've asked the people on the street questions, and it's just page after page full of those really interesting, fun little things. And
okay, where did that come from?
Where did all that come from? And what kind of a team do you have that comes up with all these things that makes the resident something that does rock with a lot of fun?
Well, what I tell people is that every issue, I bake a cake, and I have to have certain ingredients in that cake. And those ingredients are based on marketing. So I didn't tell you that postgraduate school, I went to marketing. I did some marketing classes in Boston. And marketing is kind of a hobby of mine. So National Geographics I used to read instead of the National Enquirer.
I used to get National Geographics all the time, and I have to tell you.
Demographics. Did I say geographic?
Yeah,
National Demographics.
I was going to say.
Which studies people and trends and what's happening in the market. So when I first started, I was on top of the trends. So, I would read things and it would say, golf is going to be big in the 90s back then. Well, look how it's grown in this next decade. It's unbelievable.
With our area here with a beautiful golf course.
So I needed a golf column.
All right.
Then pets. People were going to spend X amount of billions of dollars or millions of dollars, whatever it was, on pets. So I needed a pet column. So it's based on really solid marketing trends.
All right.
Okay.
Yep.
And then you just fill it in. I remember there was a woman who was helping me out in the beginning. And so I'd say, hey, we need this, or we need a Hollywood thing.
Okay.
Before the casinos really got into the entertainment business, this area was kind of blah. So I remember having in one of the first few issues, we featured Frank Sinatra's meatball recipe.
Oh, that's total fuss. Totally great.
And it was fun. Now, of course, we have the best entertainment in the world, some of the best entertainment in the world, with both Mashantucket, Pequot, with Foxwoods, and with Mohegan Sun. So They kind of come in and there are celebrities.
So that
Which is
certainly
local.
helps the local because they fly into the local airport and
Right.
they're here.
Right.
Versus I remember the day, dating myself now, where the only two big news around here was the military or Pfizer. And outside of that,
Right.
there wasn't anything.
EB, always EB.
Well, EV, but yeah, I
right,
sort of,
right.
yeah. But then that was, that was pretty much it.
That was it.
Yeah.
Right. We had to travel to Hartford or Warwick for entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're all coming here, and this area has grown
Yeah.
tremendously.
But of course, I do know that you also support the military a great deal because
Oh,
we are
yeah.
a military community. I
Right,
think
right.
you may not remember, but the first time you and I met was at Dining in the Deep.
Dining in the Deep,
Remember
yes.
the Dining in the Deep?
Couple
It was-
years, or last summer,
Last
wasn't
summer,
it?
it was.
Geez, seems
Seems
like a
like
couple-
forever ago. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun event.
That was a whole lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. Yeah.
So that was, of course, at the sub base.
At the sub base, sponsored by Captain White's Carver, and
Right.
for people that don't know what Dining in the Deep was, a group of us. It was done by lottery, and we just got lucky, and our names were in the mix, and we got selected to go to the sub base and experience what a meal would be on a submarine.
Right.
And it was. I have to say, the food really was pretty darn good.
Right, and they had a mock kitchen
mock
there.
kitchen
So it was
and
very small.
Galley.
Yes,
yeah,
right, galley.
of course, yeah.
Spotless,
Oh, absolutely, totally
of course.
spotless.
Yeah, the food was great.
Yeah.
Food was great.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So the big thing about the Resident too is its circulation and where it goes. A lot of people think, well, this only goes to Mystic, but it goes from Charleston, Rhode Island. We delivered to Charleston, Rhode Island, all the way down the coast into Clinton, Westbrook, Saybrook, Westbrook, Clinton, Essex, then into the country, Salem and Colchester, and the whole Norwich Loop up into Griswold, Lebanon, and then back down into South County, Rhode Island, Ashaway, Richmond.
It's a huge area to cover.
Right, it's a circle.
Because I know just going around, like I mentioned earlier, around Groton, just wherever you go,
It's our slogan. It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. You see it. It's
Yeah.
right there when you come in. And like I said at the introduction, it's free. You can read it there or take it home with you. And
Right.
that's
Right.
terrific. It's people like free.
Yes, they do.
They
They don't want
really
to pay
do.
for news anymore.
Oh, I guess no,
No,
not really.
we're all
yeah.
spoiled. We want free.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, we have TV 24/7,
Yeah.
free. Well, except for cable companies.
Yeah, but mostly
But-
it's
Right,
what
and
you're getting.
so we went through a abyss, for lack of a better word, a couple years ago when digital became very popular and daily newspapers started shrinking, and now it's like community papers are it. They're serving the towns, the communities.
Yep.
And one of the reasons being, is that they're free. Okay, so people don't want to pay for a subscription.
I've noticed, and I'm not going to mention its name, but I've noticed the big paper in town has shrunk.
Oh, definite. Yeah, everybody.
yeah,
Everybody
yeah.
sees that.
Yeah.
All of them, all 3 dailies.
Yeah.
So we keep plugging away, and we're online. The whole paper's online. it's kind of neat. You can turn the pages just like,
well,
click through the pages so you can look
So
through.
no matter where you are, if
Yes.
if you're sitting in an airport in Phoenix,
Right,
you can access the resident.
right. And we
that's
have
great.
people who have moved away who will send us letters, and they still read the Resident online, which is nice. And we keep all the advertisers in there, and we don't charge them extra money.
Really,
So,
that's great.
Yeah, we work hard for our advertisers. We want it to work for them, and
Yeah.
we want that long-term relationship like we have with all of these people here. I'm telling
Well,
you.
yeah, I mean,
Years.
It's obviously if people are able to pick up this paper take it home for free. It comes with a price tag for you to be able to make that happen.
Oh, it does.
So yeah,
Yes, it does.
I'm sure you're not there as a charitable event.
No,
but,
no, there are a lot of different facets. We have our writers, our
Right.
photojournalists who go out and do the resident on the street, the writers, photographer, delivery people. Got a SWAT team of delivery people because we got to cover that whole region, big circle.
And that's a lot of businesses that you're stopping at. So that's
2,500 stops we have.
That's huge.
Yes, right.
Huge numbers.
Yeah, it really is. So, what else? Oh, of course, our graphics girl, Anastasia, who does all the layout, and printing, exorbitant. But
Especially now that you're all in color.
yes,
Yeah. Which is great. How long does it usually take, start to finish, for the average issue to be produced? And I'm not just even
it's 24/7.
yeah.
Because you're always thinking about the next story.
Okay.
You're talking to people. I went to an event last Friday night, and I ended up sitting by a young man who told me his story, and he had just donated his kidney to someone he didn't even know who needed a kidney, and he was matched with this guy, and he was just recovering. It was his 6th week of recovery. He said he was feeling good, but I mean, what a story!
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Well, that sort of lends me into the next question I was going to have is you seem to cover just about everything that goes on around town.
Try to, yeah.
And I mean, where do you get them all? Do stories, a lot of them, come to you?
A lot
Are
of
you
them,
constantly out there looking for stories? How does that kind of come
They just
together?
kind of come. They come to us, and then with freelance writers, I have a string of freelance writers. They come up with ideas,
Okay, and I guess
suggestions.
you're always looking to see what events are going around in town
Yeah.
that might be worthy of being covered as
they
well?
send them to us.
Yeah, okay.
A lot of them are sent. I mean, you hear things, and
Yep,
you're involved with the community Pawcatuck Neighborhood Center. I've been involved with for years, and now I'm on the board for the Ocean State Community Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, so you hear things there. You got to be involved and hear things.
Yeah. Well, it's a community magazine, or I keep wanting to call it a magazine, newspaper. So yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I try to get away from the word newspaper because it's it's a downer now. So I call it the community good news.
Oh, okay, all right.
I dropped newspaper. I don't want to be a newspaper.
All right, yeah, go on.
I'm the
I
community
keep
good
wanting
news.
to call it a magazine. I don't know
Yeah,
why, but
right.
I'll during the interview.
Right.
I just keep thinking magazine in my head.
I considered glossy, but too expensive to do every other week. Right. So we have 25 issues. It goes to press every other week.
I don't know. I kind of like it without the glossy.
Homegrown.
Yeah, I
Homegrown.
don't think you want to get
Too fancy.
too fancy and then nah.
Right. So the casinos are a big help. They buy advertising. They're our biggest advertisers, and
So I'm sure you go to any of the casinos and you'll be able to find these as well. Correct?
yes, that's exactly
Yep.
right. Yeah.
Right.
So we have racks up in Foxwoods and baskets in Mohegan Sun. So you can find it there.
So are there any fun little stories or I always say that wrong, anecdotes in your career with the resident that you can share with us? Any crazy people or really really particularly interesting interviews or anything?
Oh, they're all
interesting.
everybody's got a good.
You don't have to mention any names, but
well, everybody's got a good story.
Yeah, well, that's true.
I mean, sometimes they stop by the office, but we're not in the office 9 to 5.
Right,
We
okay.
stopped regular. Things have changed over the years, so if they want to contact, they can contact me. If they contact the office, it goes straight through to my cell phone.
Okay.
So I answer most of the calls.
Great. So you're very
In control.
accessible and
In control.
I could sort of
That's
tell
when
that from the
somebody
beginning.
says that.
Well, somebody's got to be in control. Good. Why shouldn't you be? Good for you.
The worst thing over the years was to be at an event and have somebody finally say to me, you know, they'd be looking at me and stuff. I go, what? Well, I called you. You didn't answer my call. Well, I never got the message. You know, that's the worst.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So finally, at one point, I just took control of the phones. I love these phones now. You just
Oh,
transfer it to my cell.
yeah.
You know. So, and you'd be surprised on the weekend, people will call with stories.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing.
Oh, the world we live in now too is
It is 24/7.
24/7, and
yeah.
you always got to be on your toes because you never know what camera up above is watching you or who's taking
Well,
your
that's
picture
true.
or something like that. So
Yeah, you
know,
can't worry about that.
No, I guess you can't, but you know you got to behave yourself a lot more these days than you used to when I
Right.
was a kid.
So this weekend we have the big 25th anniversary gala at Foxwoods.
Oh, all right. Tell us a
So
little bit. Yeah.
I had to get a new dress.
Oh, I'm sure you hated that. Any excuse for that, right?
So I'll be up there pretty much all weekend.
Okay.
And I will say that Skip Hayward is getting an award, the Outstanding Lifetime Achievement Award by the tribe. It's the first time for someone in the tribe to be given that award, and certainly well deserved.
Mm-hmm.
Governor's going to be there.
Wonderful. Sounds like it's going to be quite an event. Yeah.
Fancy schmancy.
Fancy schmancy, as they say. That's right. New dress and all.
Yeah. Local, of course, bought downtown.
Oh, well.
So what else can I tell you?
Well, I think we've covered. I mean, you know, I could just leaf through this magazine. It's not a newspaper anymore. It's too good for that.
Community publication.
Community publication. Right.
So there's something in it for everyone. That's the marketing behind it. You know, if you golf, there's a golf column. There's Popeye. Some people say to me, Alexis, when are you going to change the cartoon? I don't know. Popeye's pretty good, especially for the boomers.
Yeah, sure.
You know, and now the millennials. So we have a new column that started this summer.
Okay.
And one is for the boomers, and we're rotating them, and the other's for the millennials. Okay. So every other issue will be on the boomers, every other issue will be on the millennials, and what's happening, and you know how they should save their money, and what we should do for Social Security and all these other things.
Yeah, well, what that tells me is that the resident isn't static. You're
Oh, no.
Not at all.
You got to change with the times,
Yeah.
but you got to keep your standard format. So.
Right.
You know, your certain ingredients, like
There's a
our
certain
fishing
amount of-
column.
Yeah, there's a certain amount of familiarity that people like to have.
Yes.
I think. Yeah.
Right.
Well, we're just about out of time.
Oh, okay.
It goes by fast, doesn't it?
Yes.
But I want to thank you so much for being my
great.
guest today.
Thank
and
you.
sharing everything there is to know about the resident. Good news that rocks, everybody. Find it anywhere, take it home, read it. It's really great. Again, thank you so much
Thank
for
you, Mark.
joining me today.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate it. I want to make mention also that this weekend, on Saturday, August 19th, there is an open house at the Groton New London Airport, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. There's going to be lots and lots of fun things to do. See behind the scenes of all kinds of things, the military presence and all the private jets and things that go in and out of the airport. Of course, there's a restaurant there for great food. So put that on your calendar for Saturday the 19th. It's a really fun event. And of course, always put on your calendar Around the Town with Mark. We're going to have another show coming up for you soon. Please come back and visit us and have a great summer.